mind is like a guitar. After a guitar is played, it has to be put aside. If I don't think, my mind would be blank at all times. Am I the one doing the thinking? Or is it my mind doing the thinking for me? This is nonsense. I'm making everything harder on myself than it has to be. Is poetry right future get better? My heart tells me this leads to a dead Shakespeare right another path is for. Will I remain a nobody? What if this leads to a dead end there? My heart tells me another path is for me. What if success brings more unhappiness?
Hello? How can I help you today? Have a nice day! That's your problem.
I've been hearing that a lot lately. Seems that everyone believes that the world revolves around themselves. That their problems matter most. Like my problems matter most. What's the right thing to do?
Check.
That's a good move.
Just go.
Were you in the now when you made that move, or did you let your mind take
over? Could you move
over?
already, please?
You know, Merlin, you talk about the mind often. Honestly, I still don't know what it is.
Look at it as it's like a tool. You can call it your external brain or your mental self, and it dominates who you are. And if you suffer, it's because you identify with it.
Then, how do I escape this suffering? The mind.
I told you already. Be the distant observer. Don't let your mind use you.
Though, I'm thinking now, I need to think to play chess.
When you're thinking by yourself or you're around others, a million thoughts are running through your head, right?
Maybe.
90% of those thoughts don't mean shit. I mean, when you're in the now, your thoughts, the mind, they don't have any power over you. I mean, look at it as like a false screen covering what's real, like a filter.
But my mental self is stronger than I am.
Tell me something. What's your mission, Saravann?
Of course, to make it as an actor or a model, you know, international success.
No, I'm talking about your real mission. The reason why you think that you exist.
Make it to paradise. You know, do good, help others, make the world a better place, and hopefully end up in heaven. Does that answer your question?
And when you made it to this paradise, you cool with that? It'll probably be a few minutes before your mind judges the situation, and you're like, ooh, I made it, but
I can't, because I haven't been there yet.
And if all your problems disappeared, and you're not in the present moment, most likely a new set of problems are gonna come and take that spot.
I don't know, maybe. What's your goal? Your mission on this planet?
I wanted to be the next Scarface, where everybody was scared and respected me. I feel like I'm talking about somebody else's life, man.
Yeah. That doesn't sound like you at all. Not the Merlin I know. I'm guessing you figured out what you wanted. You happy now?
I mean, I'm at peace. It's not the same as happiness.
I'd rather be happy. bet that's everybody's mission. To find true happiness.
And happiness and negative emotions are just caused by non-acceptance. Too much past, future, not enough present. Are you accepting Saravann?
Is there any other choice? I decided to come to New York about a year ago. My decisions are what led me here. In the park, playing chess with you, by the river. I haven't succeeded at anything yet, but I can taste it. I picture it every night. The past is everything. Without the past, who would we be?
Yo, you serious, man? You believe what you just said, that you are who you are because of your past? You decided to become an actor, the now, which is now the past. And yet it's hard for you to admit that time is the cause for your suffering. And that's because your mind and time are one.
This mind you're talking about is so complicated. I wish I could just delete it.
You gotta overstand the mind. You can't overstand itself. I mean, you're going back to the past, it's like this endless tunnel, man. You just gotta let it die.
Easier said than done.
And as far as your international stardom, that shit don't exist. Me. Ah, got you.
How did this happen? I never saw it coming. Time is always going against us. We need to use time wisely. You know, time is money. And life is short.
No, life is not short. Time is not money. Time doesn't even exist.
Are you even listening to what you're saying? How can time not exist?
Because it's a
Life
man-made
exists.
word. So-called date time. I mean, people use it to set up schedules and break for lunch and shit like that. But I mean, you shouldn't let it govern your life.
I'm not in love with time. You know, it kinda exists, and I gotta live with it. I can't see it, but it doesn't mean it's not there. I want to be a complete artist. Like Mel Gibson. Talent can't be learned. You either got it or you don't. Creating beauty out of nothing. That's the end of suffering. Not in the past, not in years to come, but now.
And yet you have violence in films and violence in music, right? You know, most people judge outside forms based on past experiences and label them accordingly. Yo, beauty has no past or future. It just is. It's from within, inner beauty. It can't be labeled or described. You know, and beauty and art can only be felt in complete presence. Tutorial. For example, check out the statue. Few people can actually see the aesthetics of it, but then their mind labels it as ugly or beautiful. Just prisoners of our minds.
It's kind of far, too.
Yeah, I know what you mean. know the Statue of Liberty used to be this brownish copper color?
My head hurts.
Alright, man, let's be out there. Come on.
Thinking leads to pain. Pain leads to suffering. Focusing on anything other than the now leads to more suffering. And time doesn't exist. Most filmmakers I met here in New York are workaholics, focusing all they have to their films. Is that not being? Is figuring out my life, putting in effort, believing in myself, is this all useless thinking? Doing more damage than good? I don't know. I don't know anymore. I'm confused. Every musician wants what Michael has. But is Michael happy with what he has? According to him, he only had 2 operations on his face. Why would he operate on his face in the first place? Purposely go through all this pain? His exterior surroundings in childhood have damaged his ego. He is unable to be in the now, feel being, dominated by the past, leading to destroying his self-image, wanting to change who he is, to rid of it altogether. But all that is changed is the exterior appearance. The inside still remains the same. Who knows? Only Michael knows.
Artists, successful or not, they usually enable to free themselves from their mind and access that silence of mindlessness, which leads to them only being able to create what their mind labels as beautiful. You know what I'm saying?
What makes you so sage? Were you always like this? Having all the answers?
Nah. I mean, but like most people, I changed.
What made you change? Why did you change? Walking down the street one day and said, hey, you know what? I'm gonna change.
Nah, nothing like that. But I used to be in a gang. When I dropped out of school, started running the streets, started hanging out with the wrong dudes. They wasn't the best role models, but they showed me love when nobody else would. So, I mean, they were cool with me.
Wow. I never knew you had a history like that. I only knew you as the acting, Phil boy talking Merlin you are now.
It is what it is. So it's history now. And it has no power over me. But I remember I used to get so high, man. I thought I was in paradise. And I had to come back to reality. And face the truth. My mind used to go in circles, you know? Let it use me. You know what most successful people have in common?
I don't know. They hustle. They all turn off their minds.